Tibet's deadliest roads, no rescue, no second chances. On the Nujiang 72 turns, trucks drop nearly 1,800 meters, rescue remains hours away. The Sichuan-Tibet Highway still carries medicine and freight because entire communities pay when it stops. On these high roads, the cliff is only the first pressure. Black ice can push a truck sideways. Falling rock can seal the only route. Thin air can weaken a driver before medical help is close enough to matter. A broken axle may erase a month's income. A blocked pass may isolate a village for a week. Without insurance or reliable roadside support, poverty turns delay into a trap. I want to understand why this risk has become ordinary labor. This video examines how roads master the plateau, yet leave residents to carry the danger. Loaded trucks lose almost 2 vertical kilometers through bends with little room for recovery. The Nujiang 72 turns carry National Highway 318 from Yella Pass toward the New River Valley. The precise count changes with the method, but the pressure does not. Loaded trailers enter switchback after switchback, often cutting across the bend behind the cab. Dryers descend in low gear and use engine braking because overheated service brakes can sharply reduce braking power. Mirrors, road surface, and cliff face all demand attention at once. Sun can dry one corner while black ice remains in shade. Fog, snow, rain, and altitude can alter the descent before a driver reaches the valley. Stalled truck or landslide can hold buses and freight for hours with little shelter. Behind the blockage sit food, fuel, medicine, mail, students, machinery, and ambulances. Road crews clear rock, repair barriers, and reopen drainage. Hospitals and specialist rescue remain far away, so prevention carries more weight than recovery. When towing, specialist rescue and hospitals are hours away, one disabled truck can become lost wages and a household bill at once. Lasa's morning commute begins where a staircase can expose the limits of the human body. At roughly 3,650 meters, newcomers may lose breath on the stairs while longtime residents head to schools, markets, clinics, offices, and construction sites. Cold, dry air loads every routine task with extra strain. The working day still has to start on time. Buses, bicycles, scooters, taxis, delivery vehicles, and pedestrians squeeze through the old city's dense lanes before spreading across the valley's newer districts. The road network grows, but the mountain air does not soften. Shutters rise, restaurants prepare tea, noodles, bread, and meat, while workers deal with frozen pipes, dust, fierce ultraviolet light, and sharp temperature swings between sun and shade. White-washed courtyard houses and the Potala Palace now share the valley with apartment towers, universities, hospitals, shopping centers, and electric vehicles. Mobile payments speed trade, but workers still labor at altitude. That contrast can look like effortless modernization. It is not. Every driver, vendor, builder, and clinic worker still earns a living inside conditions that punish fatigue and poor preparation. Lhasa makes altitude look manageable. Beyond the city's hospitals and depots, the same strain meets roads with far less backup. Passengers reach Lhasa only after crossing 5,000-meter air in oxygen-enriched cars. The Sichuan-Tibet line has run through to the city since 2006, climbing the Tangula Pass at more than 5,000 meters. The railway crosses permafrost, open grassland, and long empty distances where altitude is not scenery. It is an operating limit. Inside the passenger cars, oxygen enrichment addresses the thin air. Beneath them, the track holds a high-altitude corridor across ground that resists ordinary rail travel. At Lhasa Station, that engineering arrives as ordinary traffic. Students, workers, patients, families, porters, tourists, and freight. Each depends on the same narrow chain of track, power, labor, and timing. Lower transport costs have widened access and accelerated construction. They have also brought more tourism, migration, competition, cultural change, and pressure on the city's infrastructure. Lower costs do not remove dependence. Patience and freight still rely on one immense engineered passage. If that passage stops, the distance it conquered returns all at once. At 4,000 meters, one camp must serve as dairy, workshop, fuel store, and transport base. Laitang lies at about 4,000 meters in Kham, within present-day Sichuan, rather than the Tibet Autonomous Region, and its grasslands have supported generations of yak and sheep herders. Seasonal work does not become light. Herders move and count animals, milk yaks, make butter and cheese, gather dung fuel, and repair equipment. Storm can interrupt grazing and transport at once, breaking the chain of chores that keeps a seasonal camp supplied. Motorcycles and trucks connect animals, tents, and winter houses. Phones and solar panels bring power and contact, but they cannot settle the weather. Grazing policies, fencing, conservation schooling, and settlement programs reshape when families move, where herds feed, and how long seasonal camps remain practical. Changing climate adds pressure to choices already tied to grass, water, storms, and transport. Each adjustment reaches the household through labor, fuel, milk, and time. Storms and equipment failures arrive together. The household supplies the labor, the repair, and the lost income. Remote High Valley grew into one of the largest centers of Tibetan Buddhist study. Founded in 1980 near Sirtar, Larungar expanded until red cabins covered the slopes. Khenpo Jigme Phuntsok established it as a place of disciplined learning. Monks, nuns, and lay students built each day around teachings, memorization, debate, and ritual. But scholarship at this scale rests on physical work. Meals must be prepared, water secured, rooms kept warm, and health watched in a high valley. That labor is easy to miss. A teaching can fill hours, but the settlement still has to keep bodies fed and cabins usable through the cold. The density that made Larangar extraordinary also made every rule about housing and residency carry enormous force. Beginning in 2016, demolitions, relocations, and tighter controls on enrollment and residence changed both the population and the built environment recorded in older images. The result cannot be measured only by counting cabins. Fewer places to live also narrow who can remain close to teachers, lessons, meals, and daily religious practice. What stays with me is simple. Study here requires people to absorb cold, health concerns, housing pressure, and official limits as an ordinary day. Before winter, families around sacred Yamdrok must turn a short season into fodder, fuel, and cash. At about 4,400 meters, the roads toward Lhasa, Jianse, and Shigatse offer connection but little margin for delay. Families keep sheep, goats, cattle, and yaks, then stretch small plots of hardy barley and vegetables through a short growing season. Dung is dried for fuel, wool is sorted, fodder is cut or bought before snow seals pasture. A sudden storm can make routine herding a contest against cold and distance. Frozen water, livestock disease, or lost grazing time can erase income that is difficult to replace. The lake is also sacred ground. Many surrounding communities have traditionally restricted or avoided fishing, so economic need operates within a religious boundary. Samding Monastery deepens that identity through its association with the Dorji Phagmo lineage, one of Tibet's best-known female reincarnation traditions. Roadside tourism adds cash through food, transport, photography, guiding, and animal rides. Yet the season is narrow, while traffic brings litter, disturbs pasture, and adds road risk. The daily bargain is plain. Protect the herd, honor the lake, and carry the loss when weather closes pasture. Here, the road that opens the market also helps undercut the product. Yanjing's salt tradition has endured for roughly 1,300 years beside the upper Mekong. Mineral brine comes from wells near the river, then moves uphill to clay-lined beds on timber frames above the gorge. Sun and dry air remove the water. Workers rake, scrape, dry, sort, and pack the crystals for sale. Women have traditionally carried much of this load. Work crosses wet surfaces, steep paths, ladders, and aging platforms where one weak board or leaking bed can halt production. The terraces never stop demanding repair. Rotten timber and cracked clay must be fixed before flooding or slope movement interrupts the salt. Paving and trucks shortened the market journey once tied to T-Horse Road Exchange, yet those same routes carry cheap industrial salt into the valley. Handmade salt now competes with goods, made faster and sold cheaper. Some households add guiding, demonstrations, restaurants, or other visitor services because salt alone may no longer carry them. A weak platform can stop today's work. Cheaper imported salt can make tomorrow's repair unaffordable. At nearly 4,000 meters, one city carries the essential services of an entire highland region. As the Tibet Autonomous Region's second-largest city, Shigatse concentrates hospitals, secondary schools, banks, repair shops, and wholesalers that smaller settlements may not have. Sits position in the Nyang-Chu Valley ties, irrigated barley country to Lhasa, western Tibet, Nepal, and the northern road toward Komolangma, all depend on roads across exposed high ground. Buses do not carry abstract growth. They carry students, patients, pilgrims, and job seekers whose next class, appointment, or wage may sit hours from home. Inside Shigatse, repair yards and transport connections keep the countryside moving. Tashilhunpo Monastery stands beside markets, apartment blocks, Tibetan medicine facilities, and expanding roads. That concentration creates opportunity, but also dependence. Young people gain education and salaried work, while villages lose labor and the city absorbs more traffic, housing demand, and pressure on public services. The detail I cannot dismiss is how ordinary this bargain has become. Families must use difficult roads to reach the very institutions that reduce risk. Shigatse reduces isolation, but only at the city limits. Beyond them, school journeys, hospital visits, and deliveries still depend on exposed roads with no equal backup. Before sunrise, worship has already become hard physical labor outside the Jokong. The 7th century Jokong is regarded by many Tibetan Buddhists as Tibet's most sacred temple, and some pilgrims arrive from distant plateau communities before repeating full-body prostrations at its doors. Founded in King Songtsen Gampo's era, it holds the Yo-o Shakyamuni, traditionally believed to show the Buddha as a young prince. Outside, pads or wooden blocks protect hands and knees. Worshippers lower the body to the stone, rise, advance, and begin again. Inside, the pressure changes shape. A clockwise queue moves through dark chapels as people add clarified yak butter to lamps, present white katas and money, and wait for a brief view of revered images. Known of this movement sustains itself. Monks and lay workers control queue, clean floors, trim lamps, handle offerings, and restrict access to fragile spaces. Fire risk demands constant attention, even while the line keeps moving. Devotion here depends on attendants whose work must remain precise amid crowds, flame, and fatigue. By sunrise, sore knees, open flame, and a moving queue have already become somebody's shift. More than 10,000 people once packed into a river valley where the air was already working against them. At roughly 4,000 meters, Yarkon Gar became a major Buddhist community, and women formed the clear majority. For many nuns, this was rare access to prolonged study and retreat. Small wooden huts placed them close to teachings, recitation, and long periods of solitary meditation. The religious schedule depended on blunt daily labor. Water and fuel had to be secured, food cooked, huts maintained, and snow and mud cleared. Winter tightened every demand. Thin air strained breathing, while dense housing increased concern over fire, sanitation, respiratory illness, flooding, and limited medical access. There was little room between spiritual discipline and physical upkeep. If fuel ran short or a hut failed, retreat could not remain separate from daily endurance. Since 2019, extensive intervention has demolished large areas of housing. Many residents were removed, relocated, or prevented from returning. The impact reached beyond population figures. Living arrangements broke apart, study networks weakened, and the small service economy around the community lost the density that supported it. The huts were fragile, but the dense community around them was a safety net. Removals weakened both study and daily care. Nujiang's famous blossom season is also a farm deadline. One burst of bad weather can erase a season's work. Moisture entering through the Yarlung-Sangpo corridor feeds forests, river terraces, fields, and peach trees across this lower, wetter plateau. Visitors arrive as households repair irrigation channels, prune trees, prepare soil and plant vegetables and grains. Livestock care does not pause for blossom season. Late frost, hail, heavy rain, or slope failure can turn that packed schedule into a lost harvest before produce reaches a market. Barley, wheat, rapeseed, fruit, and greenhouse vegetables supply homes and local markets. Narrow roads and long distances decide whether perishable crops reach larger towns in time. Many families spread the risk across guest houses, restaurants, driving, construction, public jobs, or online fruit sales. One income supports another when weather or road access breaks the season. Tourism creates a valuable market within a short flowering window. It also adds traffic, litter, and building pressure to villages already racing the agricultural clock. One closed road can turn a saleable harvest into a household loss. Prayer sets Barkor's traffic pattern. Porters, shoppers, and deliveries must enter the same clockwise stream. Barkor's Kora circles the Yokang clockwise, concentrating prayer, errands, tourism, and deliveries in one narrow stream. Pilgrims turn prayer wheels and count beads beside monks, office workers, families, elderly residents, and organized groups. Some lower themselves fully onto the stone route, then rise and continue. This movement is not decoration around a market. It is the street's operating pattern, setting the pace for every porter, shopkeeper, and delivery vehicle. Behind the storefronts, survival depends on small transactions: incense, butter lamps, clothing, jewelry, groceries, packaged food, and household supplies. Cash and bargaining remain, while QR codes and online promotion pull old shops into a wider economy. Access is controlled. Security screening, crowd barriers, restoration rules, and tourism management decide where people enter, carry goods, or pause. That pressure makes every meter contested. Porters must work around the clockwise flow, while merchants depend on customers who may be worshiping, commuting, or passing through under supervision. Stopping is not neutral here. It interrupts worship, delays deliveries, and cuts into the small transactions holding household income together. The highest point on Earth depends on a labor chain that most summit stories leave out. Kumalangma rises nearly 8,900 meters on the Tibet-Nepal border, where thin air turns every load forecast and delay into pressure. The northern approach crosses the dry plateau from the Tingri area toward Rongbuk Monastery and an authorized tourist base camp zone. Tourists stop there. Expeditions continue only under permits and fixed schedules. Beyond that boundary, the mountain is managed through acclimatization rotations, oxygen supplies, communications weather forecasts, and loads shifted toward higher camps. Tibetan drivers and workers keep the northern chain moving. Guides, cooks, medical crews, Sherpas, and other high-altitude staff carry the work that a summit photograph removes from view. Above 8,000 meters, the body cannot recover in any meaningful way. Judgment weakens, frostbite and brain or lung swelling can advance quickly. Rescue is not a promise at that height. Wind can stop helicopters and ground teams just when time matters most. Retreating glaciers and unstable ice keep altering familiar routes, while cleanup campaigns and waste rules confront what expeditions leave behind. Before a climber can attempt the summit, local crews have already driven, carried, cooked, forecast, and waited where rescue is never assured. At Manasarovar's waterline, ritual immersion meets near-freezing water, strong wind, and air at 4,600 meters. A few careless minutes can become a medical emergency. South of Mount Kailash, it is sacred to Hindus, Buddhists, Jains, and Bon followers. Pilgrims pray, meditate, collect water, and sometimes wash or bathe. The ritual may be brief, exposure is not. Cold shock can strike at the waterline, while ultraviolet radiation bears down across the open shore. Even a short walk becomes hard before the body adjusts to altitude. Sudden weather can erase what little margin remains. Monasteries and stopping places support pilgrims and drivers. Yet fuel, food, sanitation, and waste must be managed where removal is difficult. Road access has widened participation, but also concentrated vehicles and refuse at favored shoreline sites. Distance shrinks, the burden of removal grows. Seasonal ice, changing water levels, wetlands, and migratory birds reveal a working ecosystem. Nearby saline Rakshastol sharpens the contrast with Manasarovar's fresh water. When the road closes, workers still have fuel, waste, and stranded pilgrims to manage in the same wind and altitude. One of Bhutan's greatest seats of power remains fully occupied on ground repeatedly tested by flood, fire, and earthquakes. Built nearly 4 centuries ago, Punakha Dzong stands at the meeting of the Pho-Chu and Mo-Chu rivers. Zhabdrung Ngawang Namgyal built it in the late 1630s to serve monks, officials, ceremonies, and defense. Its scale was not decoration. Monastic and government power worked behind the same heavy walls. It once served as Bhutan's capital, and remains the J-Kenpo's winter residence. That means the Zhang cannot simply withdraw from risk or become a sealed monument. The same halls carried the installation of Ojian Wangchuck in 1907 and the royal wedding in 2011. National history here shares space with daily administration and religious duty. Yet the rivers never became harmless. Punakha Dzong has faced floods and glacial lake outbursts, as well as fires and earthquakes. Each pressure arrives from a different direction. Water undercuts, flame spreads, and the ground shifts. Restoration is therefore not a final victory, but recurring work around an occupied building. Punakha's endurance is active. Every flood, fire, or tremor brings another round of repair to a building that must remain occupied. The road can deliver a visitor to Namptso faster than the body can acclimatize, climbing more than a vertical kilometer from Lhasa to nearly 4,700 meters. That gain can bring headache, nausea, and breathlessness before the shoreline is reached. The road shortens distance, but it cannot thicken the air. After sunset, temperatures fall quickly and wind drives short, steep waves across the saline water. In winter, ice changes both access and the movement of animals. This is also working pasture. Herders share the basin with kiangs and migratory birds, while drivers, shuttle crews, guest house staff, and food sellers earn from concentrated tourism. Its caves and the Tashidor Peninsula are tied to Tibetan Buddhist and Bon pilgrimage traditions. Roads, ticket barriers, and organized viewpoints concentrate commerce around that sacred ground. Income comes with litter, sanitation strain, disturbed pasture, and visitors who misread exposure as a brief inconvenience. For visitors, the eroded Holy Elephant Gate is a fragile landmark. For herders and drivers, instability is part of the workday. The road has returned, but it still stops below the cliff. Taksong stands more than 3,000 meters high, roughly 900 meters over Bhutan's Paro Valley. Tradition links the site to Padmasambhava, said to have reached the cave on a tigress and meditated there. That story gives the height meaning, but faith does not reduce the load. Every approach starts below the complex, climbs through pine forest, then breaks into long stairways beside a waterfall and across a bridge. Rain, ice, and thin air can turn those final steps into hard labor. Pack animals can carry loads along parts of the lower route. The last approach still belongs to feet, lungs, and careful balance. Food, fuel, building materials, and firefighting equipment must all confront the same steep access. Here, ordinary maintenance becomes a test of manpower and weather. The stakes became clear in the destructive fire of 1998. Extensive rebuilding took years, and Taksang reopened in 2005. It remains an active religious complex, not an unrestricted attraction. Controlled conduct and limited interior photography protect a working sacred place. For monks and maintenance crews, the celebrated ascent is a commute carrying food, fuel, and firefighting equipment. On K2, the nearest road is already days behind before the mountain's hardest ground even begins. Rising about 8,600 meters in the Karakoram, it marks the border between Pakistan-administered Gilgit-Baltistan and China's Xinjiang region. This is neither Tibet nor the Himalayas. The detour sharpens the comparison. When the road ends days earlier, workers themselves become the remaining transport system. Most expeditions pass through Skardu and Askolo, then move for days across the Baltoro Glacier. Balti porters carry the chain forward long after vehicles have stopped. Base camp is not the end of the approach. It is where the principal pressure starts. On the Abruzzi spur, House's Chimney, the Black Pyramid, and the Bottleneck compress steep climbing into a narrow route. At the Bottleneck, climbers pass beneath unstable seracs. Storms can hold teams high, while damaged fixed ropes can erase the planned way down. Helicopter support is restricted by altitude, wind, visibility, and sheer distance. Here, rescue capacity falls away before exposure reaches its peak. The first confirmed ascent came in 1954. The first winter summit took until 2021. For Balti porters, the approach that climbers call an expedition is a season's work. Thousands of cliff caves preserve an old highland record, while roads rapidly change the inhabited ground below. Upper Mustang, in northern Nepal's former kingdom of Lo, holds chambers once used as dwellings, stores, retreats, and monastic rooms. Upper Mustang is not part of Tibet. Its language, religion, architecture, and old caravan exchange nevertheless tie the former kingdom closely to the Tibetan world. These chambers do not belong to a single period or purpose. Their uses shifted as people adapted shelter, storage, worship, and isolation to hard terrain. Pottery, jewelry, murals, and manuscripts survived in spaces cut directly into the cliff. They record how people carried daily needs and religious life into rock. Now erosion presses on that record, while the inhabited landscape changes around it. The cliff that protected a chamber also makes its contents difficult to reach and protect. Controlled permits regulate entry, but change also arrives on wheels. Trucks and motorcycles follow modern roads through a region once shaped by caravan exchange. Local families now live between two rates of change, cliffs eroding above and road traffic accelerating below. Saparang gained security by climbing a ridge that made supply a daily contest. Caves and homes stood below, temples and administrative rooms above, and a fortified citadel at the summit. From around the 10th century, Guj controlled routes linking western Tibet with Ladakh, Kashmir, and India. Those links moved scholarship, art, diplomacy, and supplies through country where water and transport were never simple. Stairs and tunnels bound the levels together. They also exposed the hard bargain behind the design. Height brought security, but every load had to fight gravity. The surviving murals record exchange across the Western Himalaya in clothing, ritual, architecture, and imported styles. Their survival now depends on protecting fragile surfaces in a dry but physically active landscape. Ladakhi forces took control of Guj in 1630. The center later declined and was abandoned, leaving mud brick, caves, temples, and paintings on an unstable slope. Wind strips exposed walls, flash runoff cuts sudden channels, unstable ground shifts, and visitor pressure adds another load that conservators must control. Conservator on this slope inherits the resident's old problem. Every tool and load must be carried into unstable height. One river drops from the Tibetan plateau into a canyon with nearly 6,000 meters of relief. The Yarlung Sangpo bends around Namcha Barwa for roughly 500 kilometers before continuing downstream as the Brahmaputra. This depth was not made by water alone. Tectonic uplift raised the land while the river kept cutting, locking enormous vertical force into one corridor. Monsoon moisture reaches into that corridor, feeding forests and waterfalls where high plateau conditions collide with a wetter world. The same moisture also increases the load on steep ground and difficult crossings. Villages and bridges occupy the narrow points where terrain allows connection. Here, engineering does not erase geography. It holds a temporary line across it. The river links Tibet to South Asia, so every intervention reaches beyond the canyon. Water passing these bends becomes part of the Brahmaputra's downstream course. That is why hydropower plans carry unusual weight. They promise control over immense flow, yet raise debates over ecology, seismic risk, displacement, and water downstream. Communities live inside the canyon's immediate pressure. Hydropower decisions made here send consequences downstream across borders. The cliffs beside the road are not solid rock, but old lake beds still coming apart. Across the upper Sutlej basin, uplifted silt, sand, clay, and gravel rise as towers and walls above deeply cut ravines. Ancient lakes and rivers laid this material layer by layer. Uplift raised it, then runoff sliced softer bands while wind, frost, rain, and gravity widened every weakness. That chain continues now. A face can look firm in dry light, yet concentrated water can crack, slump, and wash it into a gully. Roads cannot ignore this geology. They thread between unstable slopes and deep ravines, and drainage channels can focus water onto ground that already yields easily. For drivers, the threat is the next exposed bend or damaged edge. A blocked passage can cut the narrow line through the basin. Villages and cultivated plots occupy rare ground with reliable water and gentler slopes that concentrates homes, fields, and transport into the same limited corridors. Saparang's walls are human-built. The earth forest is natural. Both erode, but for different reasons. That is the trap. Unstable ground is not an adventure here. It is the ordinary route linking water, fields, homes, and work. Climbers are barred from Kailash, but pilgrims and workers still face one of Western Tibet's hardest journeys. Its 52-kilometer circuit crosses Drol Mala at roughly 5,600 meters. The summit remains outside the usual conquest story. Climbing is prohibited, and no ascent has been reliably confirmed. The pressure lies below. Pilgrims usually start near Darchen and travel for about 3 days through country, with few sheltered places. At Drol Mala, steep ground, snow, wind, and low oxygen converge. Poor acclimatization can quickly become an altitude emergency. Most Buddhist and Hindu pilgrims move clockwise. Bon followers traditionally go the other way. Some advance through repeated, full-body prostrations. Faith does not carry this route alone. Drivers, porters, animal handlers, guest house workers, medics, and checkpoint staff keep people moving. Rapid weather can halt that labor. A delayed vehicle or exhausted porter can tighten income, supplies, and medical access at once. Kailash is protected from the climber, but not the porter, driver, or guesthouse worker facing the pass. Their exposure is the price of keeping the sacred circuit open. From the Potala, the highland looks commanded. On roads beyond Lhasa, movement still answers to rock, ice, thin air, and distance. The palace holds over 1,000 rooms above the city. A royal residence occupied Marpo Ri in the 7th century. The present complex began under the 5th Dalai Lama in the mid-17th century. The white and red palaces joined residence, worship, and rule. Chapels, offices, manuscripts, murals, statues, and memorial stupas made authority physical. Until 1959, this was a winter residence and a government center. Power gathered here. The burden of crossing the plateau did not. That contrast matters. Walls can rise and records can endure, while drivers depend on the next open pass and the condition of the road. A closure can stop wages, supplies, and access to care. Distance returns the moment rock or ice blocks the route. Today, the Potala remains a place of worship, a UNESCO site, a museum, and a political symbol. It shows what concentrated labor can build at altitude. Beyond Lhasa, the next open pass decides whether a driver earns, waits, or pays for the breakdown. High desert caravan town has become a modern hub for a mountain region. Leh stands around 3,500 meters high, yet airport traffic, army compounds, schools, government offices, and transport yards keep expanding around it. Sit's old bazaar grew on caravan routes, linking Kashmir, Tibet, Central Asia, and the Indian plains. The 17th century palace still marks that older economy above the modern hub. Growth brings jobs, schools, guest houses, and faster connections. It also demands more water, housing, roads, and waste handling from a cold desert with little room to spare. Irrigated villages along the upper Indus make settlement possible. When access falters, farms and neighborhoods do not lose convenience. They lose the links that carry labor supplies and income. Thin air raises the cost of ordinary work before a vehicle fails. A road delay or sudden illness can become a household emergency when dependable care and recovery remain far away. Thixi, She, and the Shanti Stupa now share the valley with aircraft, convoys, construction, and trade. Opportunity grows, but so does dependence on water and open roads. The final paradox is plain. Roads can conquer distance without delivering reliable recovery, care, or insurance. When the system fails, the household becomes the safety net. Cultivated valley survives between barren mountains because glacier water and high roads keep reaching it. At Kardung La, the route climbs to roughly 5,360 meters where thin air and traffic compress the margin for error. Nubra tied Tibet and Central Asia together through trade and Buddhism. Today, military vehicles, farm traffic, and tourism still press onto limited roads. A delay here does not end with a late arrival. It can hold back crops, supplies, work, and the cash a household needs. Glacier-fed channels turn dry ground into fields of barley, wheat, peas, and mustard, with fruit, poplar willow, and sea buckthorn around the villages. That green strip is not decoration. It is stored labor and food. At Hunter, river and wind built dunes where domestic Bactrian camels remain part of the working landscape. Yet every livelihood still competes for limited road space and glacier water. Diskit Monastery and its 32-meter Maitreya statue add another scale, a durable landmark above a valley whose access remains fragile. Road access and glacier water can fail differently, but either can stop a field from repaying a season's labor. The plain takeaway is hard. Courage here is not a taste for danger, it is labor forced by distance. A highway across the plateau carries fuel, medicine, soldiers, tourists, and state power, yet every closed pass exposes the limit of that reach. Asphalt can cross a mountain without bringing insurance, workshops, clinics, or dependable recovery. I measure these roads by that gap. If construction moves faster than protection, the poorest households absorb every breakdown and every blocked road. In the highlands, engineering may conquer distance. It does not automatically conquer risk. The next era will be judged not only by how far these roads extend, but by whether the people who keep them open receive protection when snow or rock closes the road. Follow this documentary series for more investigations into the roads that project modern power and the workers and villages that carry the cost when protection ends at the pavement.